There's a question on this side here? Okay. Great, so that's so really at the very minimum, this is what I would recommend doing if you're really concerned about brain aging or if it's in the family. The acetyl L-carnitine, okay, alpha lipoic acid, a really good B complex, and make sure you measure your B12 levels. I can't emphasize that enough because now it's available through Quest, through LabCorp, it's covered by the insurance. Okay, vitamin C, and very important, by the way, the vitamin C, that you don't do the acid form of it, the ascorbic acid. It should be a food-based form of vitamin C, okay, because that's a much better absorption with the food form. And then the coenzyme Q10. Okay, vitamin D. Okay, many of you have heard how important vitamin D is for immunity, but it's also very important for a lot of the neurotransmitters in our brain, too. And the minimum you should be taking on vitamin D is 1,000 IUs. Most people need at least 2,000 or more IUs a day. All of you should get tested. That's a very important test that will also get covered by the insurance. And on the blood test, you want to get around 60. That's the goal on the vitamin D. So if you're at 40 or if you're at 30, you're too low. You need to supplement with vitamin D. Because most people are not out in the sun all day, so the vitamin D supplementation is very critical. Okay? Yes?
Which vitamin D test? Because
there are so many. It's vitamin D3 is the test you want, and it's vitamin D3 25, the numeral 25, hydroxy. So that's HYDROXY. And when you buy supplements of vitamin D, you don't buy vitamin D2, you buy vitamin D3. And it's always labeled either as D2 or D3. So it's the D3 that you want. That's very important. Okay, and then we had touched on earlier about the omega-3s, because most of you are familiar with how critical fish oil is for heart health. Well, the more and more they're finding out it's very important for brain health. But it's one aspect of the fish oil specifically. It's the DHA part of the fish oil, not the EPA. So if you're looking specifically for brain health, then you want to buy DHA. And the minimum to take on that is 600 milligrams a day. Okay, vitamin E. All right, very important, because a lot of the vitamin E supplements that are out on the market, most of them are in one form, like alpha tocopherol. Okay, it's very important when you buy vitamin E that it's the mixed form of vitamin E, and it will always say that right on the front of the bottle. And if you don't have a blood pressure problem, you can take up to 200 IUs of the mixed form. If you have a blood pressure problem, you shouldn't exceed 400 IUs. Okay, but vitamin E is found to be very protective on the brain. So it's very important for brain health. If you can do a liquid vitamin E, that's even better. Yes?
Could you just repeat about the mixed form? It actually says on the label mixed.
Tocopherols, yes. Exactly. So it's so the tocopherols is spelled TOCOPHEROLS. Yeah. So the alpha form is the form that they found through research didn't do anything and might be harmful, but when you get it in the mixed form, you actually get tremendous benefit. So it's very important that it's not the alpha form, that it's the mixed form. Okay. Very good. That's key.
Minimum dosage, did you say?
200. Minimum. And then max, for women, they can go up to 800 without a problem. And if you're going in for any major testing like CAT scans or MRI, I usually recommend 1,600 IUs. Like the day before the test, and then you can always take it the day after the test. Okay, just to block the radiation. It helps to block the damaging effects of the radiation on healthy tissue. That's why when if you know somebody who's got cancer and they're going through radiation treatment, one of the reasons why they're not allowed to take vitamin E is because it actually will block, it's that effective. It will block the radiation. So vitamin E is very important. Yes? Oh, 1,600 IUs. The day before your test and then the day after. You just need to do that twice, that's it.
I don't know that.
Okay.
Doctors don't know that.
Okay, and some of you have heard of NAC, N-acetylcysteine. Anybody heard of that?
What was that?
It's another amino acid.
What did you say it was?
NAC. You can also actually buy it as NAC, but it's actually N-acetylcysteine, and that's another helpful antioxidant for the brain. I mean, if you want to really go all out, that's one thing that's another thing you could certainly add to your regimen. But it's also very helpful on lung tissue. If somebody has issues with lung health, the NAC is very helpful for that. And then, N-acetyl, ACETYL, and then cysteine, CYSTEINE.
What food is it?
That's unfortunately not really found in food. Yeah. Because it's specifically created. It's not naturally occurring in food.
And what's the dosage?
And the dosage on that would be 600 milligrams once a day. And that actually, unlike the others, should be taken away from food. Also, the acetyl L-carnitine should be away from food. Anytime you're taking an amino acids have to be away from food for optimal results, not with food. Okay, because the food will interfere with its absorption. Okay, and then finally, melatonin for people who have sleeping issues. But even if you don't have a sleeping issue, it's one of the healthiest antioxidants for the brain. It really helps to protect the hippocampus, which is a part of the brain that shrinks as we get older. So it prevents it from actually shrinking as we get older. So even if you don't have a sleeping problem, melatonin really helps brain regeneration. And it works while you're sleeping. And that's why you always take melatonin before you go to sleep. You never take it any other time during the day, because it will throw off your whole biological clock. So usually, at the very minimum, I usually recommend 3 milligrams. And then for women can take a lot more than men on the melatonin, because the melatonin for many men will actually increase estrogen, which you don't want for healthy prostate. But for women, what it does, it actually blocks the estrogen receptors. So it's actually a cancer prevention. It's really another cancer prevention thing for women. But one of the advantages of taking melatonin, that even if you do wake up in the middle of the night, it actually tricks your brain into thinking that you're still in a deep sleep. So your brain continues to regenerate and rejuvenate and recover. So that's one of the reasons why, as a really a healthy brain aging supplement, that's one that I would definitely recommend everybody to take. Unless you have a serious depression problem, like bipolar, then you would not be taking melatonin.